even if it happened 10 years ago. Now think of the last time someone paid you a genuine compliment. Same week? Maybe even the same day? Struggling? That's not a memory problem. That's not you being negative or ungrateful or broken. That's architecture. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why your brain is built this way. And more importantly, what to do about it.
Psychologists have a name for this, negativity bias. And it's not a fringe theory. It's one of the most replicated findings in the history of psychology. Back in 2001, researcher Roy Baumeister and his team went looking for exceptions. They wanted to find situations where good genuinely outweighed bad, a fair fight between the two. They searched economics, sociology, anthropology, relationship research, parenting studies. They couldn't find one. Bad health does more damage than good health helps. Bad parenting does more harm than good parenting helps. A single betrayal can undo years of trust. Their paper has since been cited in this field over 10,000 times, which in academic terms is about as close to settled science as it gets. So the question isn't whether this bias is real, it's why your brain would design itself this way, and why it won't just turn off, even when it's actively making your life harder.
Here's the reframe. Your brain was never optimized to make you happy. It was optimized to keep you alive. And for almost all of human history, those two goals pointed in very different directions. Imagine you're one of our ancestors on the savannah. You have two things you could pay attention to today: a beautiful sunset or a rustle in the grass that might be a predator. If you ignore the sunset, you lose a nice moment. If you ignore the rustle, you lose your life. There's no symmetry there. Missing a good thing costs you a little. Missing a bad thing can cost you everything. So evolution didn't build a brain that weighs good and bad equally. It built a brain that treats potential threats as urgent and potential rewards as optional. This is why negative information doesn't just register, it hijacks your attention. Your brain runs a constant, mostly unconscious threat scan on your environment, and anything that looks even slightly dangerous, a sharp tone of voice, a disapproving look, a critical comment, gets flagged and prioritized over almost everything else competing for your attention. That compliment you forgot, it never got flagged as urgent. Your brain filed it as nice to have and moved on. The insult? Filed as possible threat to my survival. Pay attention. Even though rationally, you know a rude comment at work isn't a lion in the grass. Your brain doesn't know the difference. It's still running ancient software on modern hardware.
So why doesn't this system just switch off once we're safe? Why does your brain still treat a harsh email from your boss like a physical threat thousands of years after we stop needing to watch for predators? Because the parts of your brain responsible for this threat prioritization, the networks involved in detecting emotionally significant, potentially dangerous information, don't distinguish between types of threat. Physical danger, social rejection, criticism, embarrassment. To these ancient systems, they all get processed through the same "this matters, pay attention now" pathway. This is genuinely contested territory in neuroscience. Researchers are still debating exactly which brain regions do what, and some studies even show mixed results depending on how threat is measured. But the behavioral pattern is not in dispute. Your brain treats social and emotional pain with the same urgency it once reserved for physical danger. A cutting remark from a coworker gets flagged by the same "pay attention, this could hurt you" system that once watched for teeth and claws. And here's the part that makes it worse. It's not just that negative experiences get noticed more, they get remembered differently in two separate ways. First, negative memories tend to get encoded with more vivid, detailed clarity, higher resolution, more sensory detail, more of the scene preserved. Second, and this is a completely separate mechanism, negative experiences get replayed more often. That's rumination, your brain pulling the memory back out again and again, uninvited. So it's not one problem, it's two. Your brain files the bad moment in higher resolution, and it keeps opening the file without asking you. That's why the insult from 10 years ago still feels sharp. It wasn't just recorded well, it's been rewatched 1,000 times since.
Left unmanaged, this creates a genuinely lopsided internal record of your own life. Relationship researchers have found something striking. It takes roughly 5 positive interactions to offset the emotional damage of a single negative one. Not 1-to-1, 5-to-1. Just to break even. Which means if you're not actively working against this bias, your brain's internal ledger of you, Your relationships, your competence, your worth is being written almost entirely by your worst moments, while your best moments quietly get erased from the record. That's how one offhand comment from years ago can still shape how you see yourself today, while 100 kind things people have said about you barely register at all. This isn't a character flaw, but left alone, it will absolutely shape your self-esteem, your relationships, and how safe you feel in the world. Not because the good things didn't happen, but because your brain was never designed to keep score fairly. The good news? Once you know the mechanism, you can work with it instead of against it.
You can't delete the negativity bias. It's not a bug, it's a feature that kept your ancestors alive. But you can correct for it, and there are 3 evidence-backed ways to do that. First, extend the dwell time on positive experiences. Remember, negative memories get encoded vividly, partly because your brain lingers on them. You can do the same thing on purpose with good moments. When something good happens, don't let it pass in half a second. Give it 15 to 30 seconds of actual attention. Notice details. That deliberate lingering helps your brain encode it with the same clarity it gives threats for free. Second, interrupt the replay. Don't just try to stop it. Since rumination is about frequency of recall, not just the memory itself, the fix isn't stop thinking about it. That rarely works. The fix is giving your brain a specific, different thing to redirect to the moment you notice the replay starting. A single "when this comes up, I turn to X" plan works far better than willpower alone. Third, actively correct the ledger. Because it takes roughly 5 positives to offset 1 negative, passively hoping good things average out won't work. You have to input them on purpose. A simple end-of-day habit, 3 specific good things, not vague ones, directly counteracts the bias by forcing your brain to log evidence it wouldn't have prioritized on its own. None of this makes the bias disappear. It just stops the bias from running the show unchallenged.
So next time you catch yourself replaying a comment from years ago like it happened this morning, you'll know what's actually happening. That's not you being weak or overly sensitive or unable to let go. That's a brain doing exactly what it was built to do. The difference now is you know how to work with it instead of being run by it. If tonight's one of those nights where your brain won't let go of something small someone said, I've got something that might help you actually switch it off before bed. Links below. Subscribe for more of the everyday science behind why your brain does what it does.
These small whys show how your body and the world work. What everyday mystery should I explain next? Tell me in the comments. Subscribe for more. See you soon.